I would love to stay here, to work here in my country.
With
Maybe
me.
Because here, like I see it like there is a different blood flowing our bodies, and people from America and everywhere in West, in Germany, in London. When I was in London, they don't have, they're like living for Friday to get drunk, or Saturday to go to pub and get drunk and be on the floor. I don't see the point.
In Serbia, we drink every day, and we are every day on the floor, and we are happy.
On se sabrao 6 mjeseci. Naši predvoditelji kako će njega njega ne reći. Ovdje. Manduj vreme.
I took place in over 100 spraying of walls, of buses, of trams in this town, and it is a very strange feeling in myself, because I know that I could be so punished because of that, by police, by court, I know by whom else, but also there is a desire. I can't explain that feeling, but it is something hot here, I know, very hot. And even it is hotter when you spray than when you realize that somebody is upon you, is running after you.
Do you think that the government will end its repressive tactics against independent media in an attempt to salvage its image before the elections?
Neće. Neće zbog toga što režim već nekoliko godina vodi jednu specifičnu vrstu politike, a ta specifična vrsta politike se svodi na to da onaj ko je oponent režimu, ko ima druge ideje i ko na drugi način misli da se može voditi društvo iz perspektive režima, jeste samo izdajnik, petokolonaš i neko kome nije mjesto u Srbiji. Naprosto čitava scena je ovdje postavljena da je sistematskim razbijanjem institucija kroz proteklu deceniju razbijeno i ono što bi značilo javno mnijenje, ne znam, u vašem smislu.
What, Socrates?
Opet.
Do you want to sing in Serbia? Sing a song. Do you want kako se zove narodno je folk music? Listen. Proleće da...
Ne!
Proleće da moje rame sleće, žurđevak zeleni, žurđevak zeleni, svima osim meni.
Our country is such a small country who had wars every 10, 20, 30 years.
It's very, very small.
Can I just finish, Christina?
No, why?
It's like in our genes, like to have wars and to laugh and to sing, and to have wars and to laugh and to sing and to have wars, and we're getting used to it. It's like the way of life. You have to have a war every 10 years. Oh. Where are you working? You're from Budapest, yeah?
Yes, I'm based in Budapest and working for Deutsche Welle Radio. Deutsche Welle and the Business News Radio. It's a Dutch.
Oh, Deutsche Welle Radio. I didn't hear on the phone. I didn't hear very well.
Deutsche Welle Radio?
Of course.
Shvatite, vi ne možete da utičete na javno mnijenje onako kao što je to na zapadu, kao što se to na zapadu smatra za normalno. Pošto postoji čitav jedan niz dobro razrađene represije nad medijima da bi se upravo sprečilo da kritična masa u javnom mnijenju utiče na ovakve ili onakve ponašanje režima.
So what is this all for? What does it mean?
It's a resistance.
And who?
To everything, to regime. Here now, to regime. And the system, and the whole system in Yugoslavia. In Serbia, I'm sorry.
You don't like the system?
No, of course not. Of course not.
Since I came into Otpor, almost every day I live resistance. On every place, in my house, on my faculty, here in offices, on street. Because it is individual idea and it is not an organization. I mean, we are organized group, but no one can tell you how you will express your resistance.
Even though you may not feel it, on the street, it's there, and people are afraid, people are afraid, some people are afraid they're going to be arrested, some people are afraid for the future, some people are, afraid they're going to get bombed again, some people are afraid of a new war. I've been living for 10 years in a completely crazy place, so.
Miau! To se, da.
This is first McDonald's in Belgrade. Now we have 7 or 8 McDonald's. McDonald's is okay.
Okay. Now it will go. Okay, so now, just introduce yourself, okay?
Again, my name is Katarina Radovic. I'm from Belgrade and I am a student of psychology in Belgrade University. And I'm an activist in a movement called Otpor.
What does it mean, Otpor?
Otpor means resistance.
When I was 18, I passed the exams for faculty of philology, Spanish language, and just a month of my studying, I realized that something is not good there with the professors, with the way of educating students.
The dean there was firing many professors, and he was really making a fuss and making a big deal out of this new law on the university.
I also told my colleague, what's happening on my faculty, and he said, there is going to be a new organization founded here by some students. You can call them.
So that's how everything began. And
Just a moment, I will ask you questions.
Yes, of course.
Otherwise, you have your story and I cannot ask my questions, okay? Okay, so you said it started in 1998.
Yes. And everything started with spraying fists over the town because the fist is our symbol. They started spraying everywhere in the town. You could just wake up one morning and see the fist, and it was very mysterious. because nobody knew what is it. And the police arrested 5 of them and kept them in jail for 10 days.
I saw something illegal in that beginning. I saw a much bigger attack on Milosevic with a fist, with that force, than attacks of oppositional parties on Milosevic. Almost every day from 1st of November till 23rd of November, we were spreading leaflets to students, and we were telling that we must organize protest against Din Markovic.
And the students protested against it, and Otmar played a very big role in that, and it resulted in his, he was replaced with another dean that wasn't so fascist, if you will.
But we realized that it's not enough. It's not enough when you beat one dean. What we wanted to say is there is another dean who rule in this country, and that dean is Slobodan Milosevic, but Serbian public didn't realize our message. So we realized it's not enough to be spread all over university centers, and then we decided to start spreading idea all over Serbia. But just when we decided that, NATO bombs came.
And then there was bombarding and everything stopped. The activities were frozen because it was too dangerous, because one thing very important happened. The editor of Daily Telegraph was Churuvia, Slavko Churuvia. He published our flyer with the fist. That was the first time the fist appeared in medias. And 2 or 3 days after, Slavko Churuvia was murdered.
And in that situation, we were not strong enough to receive NATO bombs and the repression of Serbian police, of Milosevic's police. So we decided to stop every activity. But on last conference, we said we will be back.
I think that everybody at the start, bombarding everybody felt the same. Everybody was scared. You know, I knew that my father, who was like very cold, like he's going to protect us. My mother, which is not, they're not, my mother don't panic, never. She never panics, you know, never. But I know that both of them, they were so scared, you know, like you could feel the frightness in your fingertips, you know.
And when that first shock passed, then you were scared for a couple of days until you didn't get used to the idea of all that fussing, you know. But then when you got used to it, when you realized that it's not going to the buildings, at least, that it's going to the buildings rarely, then people weren't scared anymore, and they just adapted to it. But it's a traumatic experience, obviously. You know.
Just sit and wait. You don't know what you are waiting, and
the sirens you could hear.
That was the worst
for the
thing.
beginning. That was the worst thing during the war. Nothing comparing to the sirens.
And now when somebody turns on that sound, you know, everyone here.
Everybody is totally scared, and
you know that something bad will happen,
you know,
and you don't know where and how, but
the sound is made such a sick sound, you know.
I was 3 months on one mountain above my town, and on 1,000 and and 300 meters above sea level on that mountain with big antenna of 17 elements. I'm a radio amateur, and I was announcing NATO planes to army headquarters in Kraljevo.
There were some brutal compromises made, you know, between the West and Milosevic and that. I mean, compromises not in the sense of a direct deal, but of an indirect compromise. For instance, the bombing of the national TV, where 16 completely innocent people died because Milosevic refused to move them, wanting to make an international incident, and the West refused not to kill them because they warned them earlier. So that's an indirect compromise, and it's very brutal, and it cost 16 people their lives, and 16 families, you know, their sons and daughters. And as any war, it was stupid. That's what I believe.
Now, I don't think that we should, you know, like put all our hate towards them, you know, because we can do something here and change things here, and the other people are responsible for changing things there. So I just can't have an influence on Bill Clinton from here, you know. I should have had influence on my president, and then nothing would happen.
My mother was crying every day, and because it's dangerous what I was doing, and also because she couldn't understand that now I'm doing for Slobodan Milosevic. But I wasn't working for Slobodan Milosevic. I worked that for myself, and I don't know, for citizens of my town and several towns nearby, because I was announcing to those army headquarters where plane goes. Some of those bombs were put down because of my announcement, but unfortunately some of them fell down on towns near that mountain.
It's a fact that the economy, the national economy, was pretty much destroyed during the bombing, and it changed many people's personal situation, you know. And I believe that that's why it was such a big crossroad, why the bombing was such a big crossroad, because people have really become much poorer, you know, since then, and that's like one of the basic motives to do something. And that's when we actually started, you know, working a lot more seriously, and we became a lot more numerous and organized.
2nd of November 1999, we tried to organize a big rally on our square. It is a student square, and it was the first public appearance of Otpor, and we gathered over 7,000 students on that day. In that moment, Serbian opposition tried to make some meetings, but every meeting was ended with not more than 500 people. And we realized that we have the biggest power, oppositional power, in that moment. And then we organized another meeting on 9th of November.
Mi beogradski studenti znamo da sa ovim režimom budućnosti nema. Nema budućnosti zbog represije, nema budućnosti zbog bede, nema budućnosti zbog ubijenog univerziteta, nema budućnosti zbog hiljada naših vršnjaka koji su izginuli u besmislenim ratovima. Nema budućnosti zbog stotina hiljada onih koji su otišli upravo zbog ovog režima i svoje otadžbine.
And then we were beaten up by police because we tried to go to Serbian parliament, and we tried to go there to bring them a paper in which we proposed 3 demands. Serbian parliament should announce elections on every level should close down law on university and law information. But they didn't let us to bring them that paper, and they beaten us up.
When I got beaten by police, I was talking on the air like few moments after that, and I really can't remember the things I didn't say. It was like I was half crying, half screaming. I was so angry.
From that moment, over 100, over 200 older people started coming to our offices. And when you were receiving that number of people every day, then you came to a number of several tens of thousands of people, and then you're realizing that you're not just a student movement anymore, that you have a bigger power now, and that you can change some decisions on political scene. Even we don't fight for power, political power, we can change some political decisions in this country, because we are people movement and we have people power.
This is a kaimak. Yeah. From Serbian cow. The most fat thing in the milk. That is that. And so good. You must to eat very much to taste скажи душа, soul of meat. You disappoint me. If you want to live, come in Serbia. Come in Serbia. If you want to work, go in America. Game over. You are a winner. I love to shoot.
Samo ti pričaj, ja?
No human being or animal. I like to shoot in target.
Why not animal?
Because I'm a very sensitive person. I love to eat animal, but I don't like to kill animal.
Tito was a god here, and everywhere else actually.
What do you think of Tito?
What do I think? I don't know. I don't know. Living life during Tito was very good for everybody. But the consequences he left behind are too bad, you know. Then Yugoslav passport was so valuable. Everybody was like, Yugoslavia was really something. It was a country, you know, wherever you go with your passport, it was like, wow, Tito. Even now, people are talking about Tito. But we were all only born when he, died. I think that people here expected somebody new, just like him. Slobodan Milosevic came like with the same. He looked so much like Tito, and his story was so much like him. And he promised things like people just wanted to hear, And that's why everybody voted for him.
U našoj zemlji se danas ne živi lako. Život je težak za veliki, najveći broj ljudi. To uopšte ne treba građanima ove zemlje da kaže CNN ili Deutsche Welle. To vam kažem ja, vaš predsjednik. Ali ja ću reći... Samo dobro su.
Neka novinari hoće s njime i neka se povuku.
Glasaš za slobu sada. Za koga da glasaš u vojsci, glasaš za slobu. Ja sam bio u vojsci kad su bili oni čuveni izbori kad je sloba dobio 108%.
Dobrodošli dakle na konferenciju za štampu Otpora, ovih oko 40 dana pred izbore.
We're doing two campaigns. One of those campaigns is a negative campaign that's is finished campaign, and the other campaign is it's time. So this is just saying, okay, it's time, come out and vote. You're gonna have it's time billboards, you're gonna have it's time shirts, you're gonna have it's time stickers, you're gonna have concerts all around Serbia, like rock the vote kind of thing. But the point is to get out to vote because most people who don't want to vote are against Milosevic. So that's the population you're targeting, trying to target.
I can start. Okay. Here's going to be a presentation of one film of one famous film director, Goran Markovic. He's one of the, I can say, most famous film directors in Serbia. In that film, those citizens of this municipality could see how some people in Serbia fights against Slobodan Milosevic, and most of those just men.
And women.
No, in this film they're just men.
No,
most of them
they're not just men.
Okay, most of that people are activists of People's Movement Otpor. This is our material, and we will also spread few sheets what's going to be on 24th of September. What we think that's going to happen then. Few sheets how everyone can bring Milosevic down.
Nothing visual point of view. Everything Otpor does is black and white, and it has been black and white since the beginning. And first, the reason that we did it black and white, first of all, was because it's cheap. Photocopy, and have cheap leaflets and whatever. But then it turned out that is really good because it gives it's simple, Since things in Serbia truly are simple, there are no big conspiracies. But we are not doing this other campaign under the name of Otpor because it doesn't fit in to the image that Otpor has. This is a very colorful campaign, and as I said, Otpor has always done a negative campaign towards the regime. So since this is and that's what gives it the underground, subversive image, And if you do something like this, then you completely fall out of that context. And as much as you maybe gain goal-wise, you lose image-wise. So you don't want to do that yet, You don't want to lose that image. Why would you want to?
Yeah. And point of the film is some people did some great things against Slobodan Milosevic, some huge things, you know. Even their physical existence was in question. And those activists just want to say to other people of this country that you don't have to do things that we have done. Just on that Sunday, go out to vote, and just with one pencil you can do a great thing. You don't have to be beaten up, I don't know, misfortuned, chased out from your job, like we have. You just have to do that thing on that Sunday in September with a pencil.
Koje trajalo još 15-20 minuta. Posle 3 dana kad smo mi došli u te prostorije, da nam objasne očevici koji su bili tu, rekli su nam da je to strašno, mislim, bilo ko lakše konstitucije i takve bakterije nisu nikad vidjeli da neko može da preživi.
And we are also waiting for some other things to happen, so we move in with our negative campaign. It's going to be mostly distribution of huge quantities of material that will all have one message, and that message is that he's finished. You know, so many people come up to you and say, you know, they'll just, you know, like, guys, keep it up. You know, I love it when I see your posters. It really means a lot to people to see that there is somebody fighting, you know, against these guys. You know, many people really don't have the time to do it if you want to. You know, they have survival matters to address, and us being students here, we have a lot of freedom.
This is not...
Our job also is to spray all along the streets. To spray, you know. What do you spray? What do I spray? I spray... he's finished. In Serbian, you know. Gotov je.
Opozicione stranke će pokušati preko nezavisnih medija da svoje programe i svoje kandidate što više približe javnosti. Režim će preko svojih medija opet pokušati kako da približi svoje kandidate i svoj program, ali još više da oblati ove druge, opoziciju. Znači, tu ćemo imati jedan klasičan klinč. Često puta će vam se desiti kad uzmete dvije novine, na primjer, jednu režimsku i drugu nerežimsku, kao da te dvije novine ne izlaze u istoj državi.
This is one statement for today, because there was an activist of Otpor who was arrested. We sent this to every media here.
For the past few months we had thousands of activists arrested virtually. It's a kind of a campaign to to spread fear among the activists so they could not do the campaign like they should.
Yesterday we had press conference, but not. It's about another campaign called "It's Time." Then we have an action. What is the use of government media? Something like ironic. And on the 24th of September, he's finished. And just like what happened.
Well, an activist of Otpor in was that is a town in Serbia, was arrested by the police, and he was arrested while carrying an Otpor T-shirt. But he will phone me what happened, so we can write a thing on that.
Because we have a problem with media, as you know, that we don't have television, we have only 2 radio stations, 3, which you can hear only in some parts of town because their signal is too low, it's too weak.
Many people are listening to radio stations, foreign radio stations in Serbian, for example, VOA or Radio Free Europe or BBC World Service.
Yeah, but in Belgrade, people don't have any, way to hear something, so that's why you have to, immediately send them and proceed to medias. They will know everything tomorrow.
These are our guys in niche. And our girls, guys and girls in niche. There is more here in glass. It says that during the weekend there were several arrests throughout Serbia. We have something about us here. No, hold on. Here. There's something here about us.
Hoću posljednji studentski krat.
This thing we do is not small. No way. This is the text of the first leaflet ever printed in public. Slavko Čuruvija was killed because of that. Madlen Jugend, Hitler had part of his Nazistic party in Hitler Jugend, a youth of Hitler, and they called us Madlen Jugend, youth of Madlen Albright, something like that.
Nezavisni mediji smatraju Otpor vrlo ozbiljno, koliko to može. A sad postoji drugo pitanje, šta je Otpor u datom političkom odnosu snaga u Srbiji, u datim okolnostima, šta on u stvari radi da bi dobio ne još veće važnosti. Nije vaša politička važnost ako novine pišu o vama, znate. Politika je nešto mnogo dublja. Nije važno samo da imate određeni broj članaka o sebi pa kažete, ej sjajno, novine pisale danas o meni. Trebate i nešto, iza toga treba još nešto, mnogo toga više da stoji. Ja vjerujem da se ljudi iz Otpora trude da upravo to mnogo više u njihovom radu stoji iza njih i da ne broje novinske članke koje izlaze o njima.
This one for hell too.
Neka novinari hoće s njime i
his wine.
So I said I'm on the road, so I need a car. And I know that I'm getting alive. And I say I got faith in a season. And I say it's what I'm going to get a need and I want it to please it. I got faith and I want it to feel it. The more I feel is the more that I need it. The more I need is the less I believe it. Well, I want a good love on my side. Keep on getting out love and my pride. And I know I'll keep hurting my love, yeah. But I know it ain't killing. I get a need and I want it to please it.
Free marketing.
Aktivista otpora Branko Ilić, kojeg je beogradska policija privela jutros u 4 sata i 15 minuta, još je u pritvoru i trebalo bi da bude saslušan kod dežurnog sudije za prekršaje, rekla je Beti njegov branilac Biljana Kajganić. Prethodno je otpor saopštio da su Ilića policajci priveli kad ih je telefonom pozvao čuvar pogona gradskog saobraćajnog preduzeća na Karaburnu. U saopštenju je navedeno da je čuvar potegao pištolj na Ilića, a da je obezbeđenje pogona sa 2 psa i repetiranim pištoljem jurilo ostale aktivista ovog pokreta, jer su sprejom crtali simbole otpora na zidovima pogona.
Jedno 10 minuta. I u jednom trenutku čujem psi nešto ovako, razumiješ, i vidim trčanje unutra, preskaču preko ograda, razumiješ, preskaču prvi Dušan, Peđaja, pa Grk, pa Branko, i Branko ostane nazad tamo pored, razumiješ, ispostavi se da ga je tip uhvatio i da ga je držao na nišanu, razumiješ, čuvar. Pištolj je zgodno. Vikali su oni iz stanite, izbicićemo stanite. Ali nije treba da si
We don't know where is he right now in station. We don't know.
So no lawyers or anything?
No, they don't allow lawyers and family to visit.
We must start a campaign for his releasing because we think that it is nothing bad that he done. You know. That's the original way of our function, to spray. Yeah. You know, urban guerrilla war, you know, with sprays.
The first thing we did was calling every newspaper, every media. We had to inform them, and we were like, if the situation was very difficult and if they, sue him, and if something like that happens, the regime will spit on him like he's a vandal. So we made a biography. If something like that happens, we will have his biography to let people know that he's a very good student. He's a student of 2 faculties in Belgrade. He was a very, very good student in high school. Even he was a radio amateur during the war, you know, and he was informing people where NATO bombards, you know, like planes and everything.
So they just try to be there for him, and we may organize some calling of the police station by hundreds of people if we can do it, but I'm not sure whether we're going to do that. So.
My personal opinion out of resistance is that resistance never could be what it is now if there was no Branko, you know, because Branko is the guy who dealt the leaflets in university buildings, you know, and on all the places, you know, and not some guys who formed the resistance. They are brains, but something that is very important in resistance is how to act in the street. And Branko was there from the beginning, you know, and most of things we should thank to him. And that's why one more thing, people love Branko, you know. When Branko show up on stage, whole crowd is woo! Yeah.
Kajganićeva je rekla da je Ilić dobio rešenje o zadržavanju u pritvoru i da ga je dok je bio u Pavlovskoj stanici policije udario jedan policajac.
Branko has something in himself that, how can I say, charismatic, you know, something like that. like I told you, they didn't beat him or torture him or something like that. They were just so boring. with some with one same question for I think 100 and how many times was asked.
What was the question?
It's interesting for me. What was the question? Usually, questions we are asked from the police is like who is the leader of resistance, who gives you money, something like that. But this question was how's that you were not afraid to do that? And Branko just said that he won't talk anything without lawyer, you know, and he defended himself with silence.
Peja, if you can change one thing, what would you change?
I change the car.
If you could keep one thing, what would you keep?
Only
My heart.
hard.
Yeah.
Šta ti je to?
Ne, srce.
Hard.
You are young and you are a woman. Tell me, how old are you, and are you not afraid to be in such a movement in Serbia?
Yeah, I'm 21 year old, and well, I'm not afraid. Not after everything that happened to me, you know, like there were some bad things happened, but it's not. Of course, you have to be frightened from time to time, but now I just don't have. I don't have time to be frightened because I have to finish my studies and I have that work to do in opera because that is the thing. My future depends on it.
From the first moment of my contact with Otpor, I tried to leave resistance. Maybe, I mean, I know that I mean, all of activists, we are not same. But I think Otpor lives because of those guys who really lives resistance. And I think Otpor will succeed because of our desire to bring Milosevic down without resisting. And I promised to myself that I will do anything to bring him down.
Da pobjede, mislim da bi samo čudo moralo da se dogodi da pobjede. To je jedan, ali ukoliko što prije krenu u jednu dobru, osmišljenu, agresivnu kampanju, mislim da bi ipak mogli zapaziti postići jedan rezultat koji bi u kasnijem političkom životu mnogo toga mogao da znači.
I believe that the only way that we can, bring him down is that many people, really many people, do stand up against it. And the more activists there are, that means that the more people you will have when the time is right, when the moment comes that that people react.
san, šta se zbiva, ko me muči, kakvi đavoli, đavoli, đavoli su to. Stalno vidim jedne oči, jedan osmeh i lik, vatren pogled, crnu kosu, kao đavole, đavole, đavole u snu. Svakog dana nekud žuri, kao vihor kroz grad, uvek lepa, ali gorda, zbog tog đavola, đavola, đavola sam lud. Tek da znate, o kako hodam, kakva ljubkost je to, ko bi rekao da se kriju svi ti đavoli, đavoli, đavoli u njoj. Šta mi vredi, što je pratim, što se smešim na nju. Znam da
No matter how hard we live here,
We always laugh.
we're happy.
Maybe we are crazy. We don't know that.